This video is made for adult collectors because I have a boo-boo on my finger. So this morning, got up, did morning routine or whatever, then brought these upstairs to get ready for the video, then started making breakfast. I didn't say Google Assistant. Why is my Google Assistant going? And then I made breakfast and we got new knives and I didn't realize, or I was there when we got the new knives, but I forgot and I have sliced through my finger. So hooray. Be careful with knives, kids. There are some pretty good 2-packs out there for Transformers, but this one to me has to be one of the better ones, at least recently, because it gives you probably my favorite Titans Return Deluxe mold, but it also comes with a very good and very hard to find Siege mold. They keep using Titans Return molds in the current age, and I love that because it's my favorite Prime Wars trilogy line, but I mainly got this pack to have Spinister again. So I bought this for myself, not to do a video on, but A, there isn't much else new that's out right now, and B, I've been enjoying these two way more than their original toys, so I want to talk about them. I genuinely enjoy these two a lot. Topspin still holds up. Yes, he's missing ankle joints and wrist swivels, but like this thing is solid. Just like Twin Twist, the colors rock so much here. I like this red and purple with the bits of silver, but the gray thighs kind of stand out a bit much for my taste next to the silver like hips. Like I said before, he is super solid, unlike my copy of Twin Twist, who's a really floppy and flimsy mess. I also just appreciate how this figure is just sort of fills in most of the parts in the arms and the legs with panels that cover up all of his hollow spaces. Though the torso is a bit funky looking, but I still think it's fine. I adore the gunmetal on the guns and the wings. It's like my favorite shade of silver. I'm always down for that. I also like the bits of yellow on the knees and the shoulders, and his head's nice. It's a Titans Return figure, so that means the head turns into a little man. It's a great toy. Now on to Spinister. This mold was good when it came out because I thought it was very clever, but seeing it in these colors makes the old one look a bit more bland to me by comparison. I love these much darker colors with the different shades of blue and the dark pinkish purple. The cockpit being on the legs I think is neat because of how they just sort of pull that off. And the propellers seem to stay up better on this one than on my original. This version also comes with Needle Nose's Target Masters, but I'm glad he finally has his Target Masters. He also comes with the regular guns, probably because they just didn't want to throw them away. But now he's weird because he can either hold one set or the other set, and it's like a weird mix of the two if you want to have him hold all four. It's a nothing problem. It's just funny to me. Mine also has a slightly new, that's not how you say that word, slightly loose knee, but well. So Spinister that's the wrong one. Spinister articulates really well. This guy articulates okay because he's old, but like, you know, it's still usable. I guess we'll start with the old man first. Get his guns out of his hands. So the head is on a ball joint, so you got all that range because it is the Titan Master, so you can look up a little bit, down a little bit, you can do a full 360 and some really nice tilt. However, I have the head on sideways because if I put the head this way and plug it in, plug it in, there we go, he has bobble head. And if I plug it in the other way, his face pokes out of his neck. You can't really see it, but it pokes out of his neck. So what I do is I put the head in sideways and then push it forward. It hasn't scuffed any of the paint on the face, which is good, and that's just like the most stable connection for the head for me. Shoulders are on giant ball joints, so they can rotate and do a full 360. They can go out that far, and then you have the transformation hinge to make them go out further, but the wing does bump into his head. He does have a bicep rotation. You have double jointed elbows and nothing at the wrist. The wrist does not rotate, unfortunately. The wings, they can flap in and out, so you can have them forward if you want. You can have them come off. He does have a waist joint, and because of transformation you can unclip this and give him an ab crunch if you want to. So that's pretty cool. My chair is making a lot of noise. The hips are on ball joints, so they can go forward that far, they can go back that far. They're really stiff ball joints, they can go out. You have your thigh rotation. You have a double jointed knee that just really only bends 90 degrees, and the reason it's double jointed is because it accordions in, so it doesn't really offer anything in the knee bend. And then the toe can move forward, but when you do that, it pushes the leg apart. So, you know, he's pretty articulated, especially for a 2015 toy, but there is some things that could still use some work, like the ankles and the wrists. His head's on a ball joint, but you don't really get that much tilt, and it's kind of hard to get your fingers in here to move this around because of the tail fin. But fortunately, there's a joint underneath there, so you can do that and get the head out of the way of that to rotate it, which I think is really cool. But you have that so you can look down that far. Can't really look up that far. You get a little bit of tilt and rotation. These shoulders, they can do a full 360. They can go out over 90 degrees. You have bicep rotation, double jointed elbow, and then wrist rotation. Also, I really dig that sort of like detail inside the arm. I think that's really cool. He does have a waist joint. The hips can go forward all the way. They can go back all the way. They can go in and out as well. You have thigh rotation, a single jointed knee that bends just a little bit more than 90 degrees. And then the ankles. The ankles are out of focus. They're pretty nuts. So you got down, you have a little bit of up, you have a little bit more up on this foot just due to transformation. Then you have an ankle pivot at the foot, but then you can have an ankle pivot all the way if you want to. So there's a lot of range in these feet, and I really like that. It means standing him up in basically any pose. He's really like stable at his base. So I really like both of these. They are very good molds, which makes this 2-pack extremely nice, but they also, to me, have nicer decos than their originals, which just elevates this pack more to being one of the best ones I've gotten recently. The alt modes also join in that factor, making me feel like these are better than their original counterparts. All right, we'll do Topspin first because he's the least troublesome, not troublesome, complicated, that's the word. So start with head, comes off. You want to get bro into a seating position with his arms up. So the cockpit won't close unless the arms are up, and I'll talk about that more a little bit, but there we go. We have bro ready to go. Now you want to take the hands and fold the hands in, collapse the arms, then close this section up. So do that on both sides. Straighten out the wings, and then just leave the arms down like that. Now we're going to open up the legs, fold the feet in, and that'll expose the second booster on either side. Rotate the waist, split the ab crunch down the middle, and then rotate the front torso, which is really clever, and then clip that in. Then you want to fold this section out at the front, close the cockpit, bring the arms up and in. They will slot into place both here and here. Then you peg the legs together. They will clip in at the top and just accordion it in, and it will smoosh into place. Fold that down, and there you go. Weapon storage is pretty not graceful, but there you have that. Then you open up the cockpit, and we will take little bro here, stick him inside, and then close that up. And there you have Topspin. Spinister, on the other hand, is very complicated in comparison to that. So to start with, we're going to fold up the arms on the double hinge and tab them together. And then they will just sort of tab into the side of the vehicle like that. This is already starting to come undone. Then you want to bring this down and then take this entire assembly here, bring it up, and it will sort of eat the head and fold this down. We're going to bring this back just for now, split the propellers open. With the legs here, so you want to make sure the landing gear one's at the front, so you rotate the waist this way. Now what I've found is the alt mode doesn't like sitting fully flat unless I take the hips right here and rotate them 180 degrees, then rotate the thigh swivel down. This was on my original copy, and it's also here too, I've noticed. So you do that, then you bring this section down. You want to fold out the foot, rotate it 180 degrees, and it will peg in to the top section. It's not pegging in. Oh, come on. You bring that out, you open this panel up here, and you're gonna fold this whole entire assembly up like that, close this up, bring this out, and then fold this entire section down, and it will peg into the underside here. Once you have that pegged in, you peg the top section in like that, and then this part, this foot, will peg into the arm. And that's one half of his little like winglets done. So this side here, you wanna open this section up again, fold the foot out, but this time literally just fold it down. You don't have to do any fancy twists or tricks, you just fold it down. Rotate the leg, get the propeller out of the way. Out of the way! Fold this up, close that, bring this back, and this will peg into the other elbow. So I can't see what I'm doing. And then you fold down the landing gear, and there you have helicopter mode. It's very fun to do. It's just, these can be a tiny little bit annoying, and that likes to push itself out of place. But it is still really clever getting all of that situated with the legs and the duck. I love the way these look. I love how the cockpit on Topspin is like a blue stripe in the middle of that sea of red, the silver on the front ends and the yellow vents on the back. I do wish the weapons had a bit more of an elegant way to store, is what I would say, until I remembered that you can just peg them in underneath the wings and then it's fine. The headmaster does fit, but as I said, the arms have to be up in order for him to sit in the cockpit closed because they bump into like the way the cockpit's shaped, and it doesn't work properly. Spinister looks epic, though the colors here don't feel as nice and balanced as they did in the robot mode. I think to me it's part just due to how this guy compresses into helicopter mode and how much closer the chunks of color feel. The back end on mine does like very, very slowly squeezing its way undone, but both propellers spin freely and smoothly. Love that. I do really like these two. It's slowly creeping up to be my favorite exclusive of the year. Not sure if it beats the 4-pack yet, but like it's very close. It's nice to get two mostly solid redecos of older toys that should have been degraded a bit more at this point, but like they work very well. I definitely recommend this set. But that's my look at Spinister and Topspin. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.